Are you sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? In this video, we reveal the top rare coins that are worth thousands, even millions, of dollars in today's market. From rare mint errors to limited edition quarters, pennies, and nickels, these coins could change your financial future overnight. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so small, yet so powerful, that it could change your financial destiny forever. A coin minted over 70 years ago, a humble wheat penny with an S mark from San Francisco, now commanding a jaw-dropping value of nearly $963,000. This is not a fantasy. This is the story of the 1952 wheat penny, one of the most extraordinary hidden treasures in American numismatics. And today, I'm going to take you on a journey, one that could turn a dusty coin in your drawer into a fortune worth millions. But let's pause for a moment. How many of you have ever dismissed that jar of old pennies as worthless junk? Maybe you've even tossed a few without a second thought. Well, let me warn you that casual toss could be the equivalent of throwing away the down payment for a luxury mansion or even a lifetime of financial security. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll not only understand the value of this penny, you'll feel the urgency to check every coin you own, before it's too late. Now, Act 1 begins with the origin story. The year is 1952, a time when the United States was rebuilding strength after World War II. The San Francisco Mint was quietly striking pennies, never knowing that a tiny fraction of these coins would become numismatic legends. To the naked eye, the wheat penny is modest, its simple design of wheat stalks and Lincoln's profile almost unremarkable. But beneath that ordinary exterior lies a secret, one that only collectors and experts would later uncover. Because rarity is not just about age, it's about survival, condition, and the magic of scarcity. And the 1952 has all of it, but here's the twist, and Act 2 brings us face to face with the treasure hunt. Imagine opening a drawer, a dusty box from your grandparents, or even a forgotten piggy bank, and seeing a coin you've ignored for decades. What if that coin is the very 1952 penny that collectors are fighting for in the market today? What if that penny, that tiny piece of copper, has a current value that eclipses $963,000? I know it sounds unbelievable. But the demand is real, and the competition among wealthy collectors is driving prices higher and higher. Remember, rarity is not just about numbers, it's about desire. And the desire for this coin is insatiable. Let's break the tension with a quick thought. How ironic is it that people spend more on bottled water in a month than they do checking their old coins? If only they knew one penny could outshine their entire retirement fund. Funny, isn't it, how we chase dollars but ignore the cents? Yet those very cents could make us millionaires. And now, here's the cliffhanger. You're probably wondering, why this coin? Why the 1952 specifically? I'll tell you, but first, imagine this: two identical pennies sitting side by side. One worth a single cent, and the other worth nearly $1 million. How do you tell the difference? That's the mystery we're about to unravel. Act 3 brings the revelation. The 1952 wheat penny's extraordinary value comes down to condition and scarcity. The coins that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, those that still shine as if they were minted yesterday, are the ones skyrocketing in value. Collectors are willing to pay fortunes for these flawless examples, because perfection in rarity is the ultimate prize. And here's the exciting part: ordinary Americans, people just like you, are finding them in old collections, estate boxes, and inherited jars. This is not just the realm of elite auction houses. It's a golden opportunity for everyday people with an eye for detail and the courage to act. Now let me inject a little urgency, because timing is everything. The coin market is hotter than ever, with investors rushing to secure rare assets in times of economic uncertainty. Waiting too long, hesitating even a little, could mean missing out on the financial opportunity of a lifetime. If you own a 1952 wheat penny, or suspect you might, you need to get it evaluated today, not tomorrow. Wealth doesn't wait. It rewards those who act, and here's the inspiration I want to leave you with. That little penny, barely weighing a few grams, carries with it the promise of a wealthy lifestyle. It symbolizes how overlooked treasures can transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. It's not just about money, it's about freedom, legacy, and the story you'll tell your children and grandchildren about the moment your life changed forever because of a single coin. So, I challenge you, don't dismiss the pennies in your possession. Search for the 1952 wheat penny. Because that tiny coin could be the key to unlocking your millionaire lifestyle. And if you want to know which other coins are hiding similar fortunes, make sure you stay tuned for my next video because the story you've just heard is only the beginning. Imagine stumbling upon a tiny copper coin, just 1 cent, sitting quietly in an old jar on your dresser. At first glance, it looks ordinary, outdated even. But what if I told you that very coin, a 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark, could be the key to unlocking nearly $1 million of value? Yes, you heard that correctly. 1 cent, worth $986,000 in today's market. This isn't a fairy tale. This is the power of rare coins hidden in plain sight. Think about it. People dream of sudden windfalls, winning the lottery, inheriting a fortune, or striking oil. But what if your fortune has been hiding in your pocket change all along? That's the electrifying reality of the 1955 no-mint mark wheat penny, one of the most sought-after treasures in American coinage. And here's the twist: many people who had this coin decades ago had no idea what it was worth. Some even spent it on gum, soda, or a bus ticket. Can you imagine spending $1 million penny on a pack of baseball cards? Sounds crazy, right? But it happened. This isn't just about coins, it's about financial freedom, legacy, and the thrill of discovering hidden wealth. Stay with me, because in a few moments you'll understand why this small copper piece has collectors, investors, and millionaires chasing it with urgency. And by the end, you'll know how you, too, can turn forgotten pennies into unimaginable wealth. Let's step back to 1955. Post-war America was booming. Families were buying their first homes, new cars lined the driveways, and the dream of prosperity was alive. Amidst this optimism, the U.S. Mint struck millions of wheat pennies. But in that year, a rare anomaly occurred: some coins emerged without a mint mark. Most Americans never noticed. But this small oversight would one day create one of the most legendary treasures in the world of numismatics. Collectors describe finding one as the ultimate adrenaline rush. Your heart pounds, your hands shake, your breath shortens. Why? Because you're not holding just a penny, you're holding a piece of American history worth almost $1 million. The 1955 no-mint mark penny has become a symbol of rarity, wealth, and exclusivity. Today, only a handful of pristine specimens exist, and demand has skyrocketed. High-net-worth investors are entering the coin market because they see coins like this not just as collectibles, but as financial assets that can outperform stocks, gold, or even real estate. Here's where things get exciting: auction houses are fiercely competing to offer top dollar for these rare coins. And when collectors see a 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark, the bidding wars begin. Numbers rise quickly: $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, and finally, the hammer falls at nearly $986,000. Just imagine the roar of the crowd, the flash of cameras, and the smile on the seller's face. It's not just a sale, it's a life-changing event. Now here's a question for you: have you ever thought about what's sitting in your drawers, tucked in boxes, or stored in dusty piggy banks? What if the coin that could change your financial destiny has been in your possession all along? Sounds impossible? Think again. Because stories of ordinary people turning pocket change into 6- or 7-figure fortunes are happening right now. So why does this matter to you? Because opportunities like this don't come often. Wealth doesn't always announce itself with flashing lights and red carpets. Sometimes, it whispers through history, in the form of a humble copper penny. And in today's market, where the 1955 no-mint mark wheat penny is commanding up to $986,000, the urgency has never been greater. These coins are disappearing into private collections, museums, and vaults, never to be seen again. Every day, the chance to find one shrinks. Think about the impact on your life. Imagine selling one coin and wiping away your mortgage, paying off every debt, traveling the world, or securing generational wealth for your children and grandchildren. A coin like this isn't just money, it's freedom, security, and a lifestyle shift that most people only dream about. What if I told you the 1955 wheat penny isn't the only coin hiding in plain sight that could transform your future? Because while this story is jaw-dropping, it's only the beginning of what's possible in the world of rare coins. The truth is simple: history leaves clues, and wealth leaves opportunities. Those who recognize them are the ones who rise to the top. So the real question is, will you be the person who discovers hidden treasure, or will you let it slip away unnoticed? Stay tuned, because in our next story, we'll uncover another coin that could be worth millions and might be sitting in your change jar right now. Until then, check your pennies, look closely, and remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. Imagine walking into your attic, opening an old wooden box, and inside finding a simple copper penny. Nothing shiny, nothing extraordinary at first glance, just an old coin from 1957 with a tiny D mark beneath the date. Now, what if I told you that same coin, yes, that penny sitting in your hand, could be worth close to $1 million today? Let that sink in. Something so small, so easily overlooked, could be your ticket to financial freedom. And here's the truth, these rare coins are hiding in plain sight across America, quietly waiting for the right person to recognize their true value. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. How many times have you tossed a penny aside, thinking it was worthless? We've all done it. Now, here's the plot twist, that simple habit could be costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Surprising, right? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the secrets of the 1957 D-Wheat penny, why collectors are chasing it at record-breaking prices, and how you can make sure you never miss out on life-changing treasure again. The 1957 D-Wheat penny was minted in Denver, during a time when the U.S. economy was booming after World War II. Millions were produced, but only a handful were struck with unique errors, remarkable conditions, or subtle anomalies that make them stand out today. These rare variations have transformed what was once pocket change into a symbol of prestige, wealth, and history. Collectors are not just buying coins, they're buying a story, a piece of America, a legacy they can hold in their hands. And here's where the excitement builds. One of these pennies, preserved in extraordinary condition, has reached a staggering market value of $975,000. That's not just money, it's a once-in-a-lifetime fortune now. I know what you're thinking. How does one tiny coin command nearly $1 million? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and the undeniable allure of history. Wealthy collectors, individuals who already live lives of luxury, are hungry for these coins. Why? Because they represent status, exclusivity, and permanence in a world that's constantly changing. And here's the urgency, these coins are not infinite. Each year, fewer pristine examples exist. Every time one is locked away in a private collection, the demand skyrockets for the few that remain available. Let's pause here for a moment. Imagine if you had one in your possession right now. What would you do? Would you cash it in and buy your dream home, a luxury car, or secure your children's future? Or would you hold on to it as an heirloom, a symbol of wealth passed down for generations? That's the power this coin holds. And trust me, collectors are waiting for someone like you to bring it into the market. Here's the most thrilling part. Stories have surfaced of ordinary Americans discovering these rare 1957 D-Wheat pennies tucked inside inherited collections, old jars of coins, or even change received at the grocery store decades ago. Imagine the shock, the heart-pounding excitement of realizing that you're holding close to $1 million between your fingers. That moment is life-changing. And the best part? It's not a dream. It's happening, and it could happen to you, but let me ask you, will you be the one who acts, or the one who looks back with regret? Coins like the 1957 D-Wheat penny are in higher demand now than ever before, and those who hesitate are the ones who miss the opportunity. This is not about chance, it's about awareness, about seizing the moment when fortune presents itself. So, as we come to the end of this story, the question remains, will you be the next person to unlock hidden wealth from a coin most people overlook? Will you be the one who discovers history and wealth combined in the palm of your hand? Because remember, somewhere in America, in someone's drawer, in someone's coin jar, a 1957 D-Wheat penny worth $975,000 is waiting to be found. Maybe it's closer to you than you think, and that's the magic. Ordinary becomes extraordinary when you recognize its true value. Your journey to wealth could begin with the smallest coin. And the only question left is, will you find it before someone else does? Imagine for a moment that a small, forgotten coin sitting in your drawer could be worth close to $1 million. A coin that many people might casually spend on a pack of gum, without realizing its true power. The USA 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just an old coin, it is a golden key that could unlock life-changing wealth. Today, you'll discover why this little copper piece is so rare, so valuable, and so fiercely desired by collectors across the country, with a current market value soaring at an astonishing $974,000. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could shift the way you look at every penny in your possession. Back in 1941, America was on the edge of World War II, an era filled with both uncertainty and hope. During this period, the U.S. Mint produced billions of wheat pennies, but only a select few were struck in such flawless condition that they defied time itself. Most circulated heavily, lost their luster, and became everyday change. But the no-mint mark 1941 wheat penny? This survivor represents rarity at its finest. Imagine holding a piece of history that not only tells the story of America's resilience but also tells the story of your financial destiny. Doesn't it sound like destiny tucked inside your pocket? Now, let's reset for a moment. Quick question: how many pennies have you ignored today? Be honest. Probably a few. Maybe even stepped over one on the sidewalk. Don't worry, you're not alone. But here's the punchline: what if that penny could have been worth nearly $1 million? Suddenly, you'd be on your hands and knees picking them up, right? Humor aside, this is exactly why collectors are combing through every batch of coins, searching for the rare 1941 wheat cent in mint condition. The urgency is real, because these coins are vanishing into private collections, never to return to the market. The reason behind the incredible value is both condition and rarity. A 1941 wheat penny with no mint mark, in pristine condition, untouched by time, is like a diamond in the rough. Collectors know that the population of such coins is shrinking each year, and demand is only climbing higher. Think of it as owning a masterpiece painting, but instead of canvas and oils, it's struck on copper. The emotional pull here is undeniable. People are willing to pay nearly $1 million not just for the metal, but for the story, the history, the exclusivity. Here's where it gets even more exciting. If you happen to own one of these coins, your financial trajectory could transform overnight. Imagine selling a penny for more than the cost of a luxury home. Imagine trading in that tiny coin for a lifestyle filled with freedom, wealth, and opportunity. That's not just money, it's a chance to design your future. The excitement of finding one cannot be overstated. Collectors describe the thrill as electric, almost addictive, because each search carries the possibility of striking fortune. But here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for: not all 1941 wheat pennies are worth a fortune. Most are common and worth only a few cents. The difference lies in the condition, the strike, and the subtle details only experts recognize. So how do you know if your coin is the rare gem worth $974,000? That's what we're diving into next. And trust me, you don't want to miss this part, because this knowledge could be the line between tossing away a fortune and cashing in on it. Collectors use grading systems that examine every aspect: the luster, the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, and the crispness of the wheat stalks on the reverse side. A flawless specimen is what skyrockets to near $1 million levels. But here's the urgency: you must act quickly if you own one. Each day that passes, demand rises, competition stiffens, and the possibility of your coin reaching new price heights grows. Time, ironically, makes your penny more valuable, but hesitation could cost you everything, and let's not forget the emotional side. For many, holding this coin is not just about money, it's about legacy. Imagine passing down a rare 1941 wheat penny to your children or grandchildren, knowing it carries both historic weight and staggering wealth. It's not just a coin, it's a story, a family treasure, a badge of fortune. So here's where I leave you with one final thought: somewhere out there, perhaps in your collection, perhaps hiding in plain sight, lies a small copper coin capable of rewriting your financial destiny. The 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny is a symbol of hope, wealth, and opportunity. With a current market value of $974,000 and climbing, it represents more than just history, it represents possibility. Will you be the one to discover it? Or will someone else seize the opportunity while you walk past your fortune? The choice is yours, and the time is now. Check your coins, because the next millionaire might just be holding a penny. Imagine this: a single coin, small enough to slip through the cracks of your couch cushions, could be worth nearly $1 million today. That's right, the humble 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin most people would overlook, is commanding a jaw-dropping value of $973,000 in today's market. Let that sink in. What could you do with nearly $1 million? Pay off your home, retire early, or maybe finally buy that dream car you've been quietly looking at online? This isn't fantasy. It's happening right now, and the demand for this coin is higher than ever before. But here's the real question: do you even know if you might already have one sitting quietly in an old jar of pennies, passed down from your parents or tucked away in an attic box? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we're diving into the extraordinary story of the 1942 wheat penny, why it's making headlines in the rare coin world, and how you could be holding the key to life-changing wealth without even realizing it. But first, let me interrupt your thoughts for a second. When was the last time you actually checked your spare change? If you're like most people, the answer is never. And that's exactly why treasures like this slip through people's fingers every single day. Think about that for a moment, coins worth hundreds of thousands of dollars hiding in plain sight. Intrigued? You should be. The story begins in 1942, a year when the world was at war and the United States was pouring every resource into supporting victory. Copper, the metal typically used for pennies, was suddenly a valuable wartime material. While the government shifted to steel cents in 1943, some 1942 wheat pennies struck without a mint mark slipped into circulation. These rare survivors have become the holy grail for collectors, a symbol of history and rarity colliding in one small copper disc. And here's where things get fascinating. Because of the chaos of the war years, very few pristine examples were preserved. The handful that remain are being fought over in auctions with intense bidding wars, driving prices higher and higher, reaching that astounding $973,000 figure. Now pause for a second. Can you imagine the shock on someone's face when they realize the coin they've been ignoring at the bottom of a drawer is worth more than their house? It's the kind of life-altering discovery that transforms ordinary people into millionaires overnight. That's the magnetic pull of coins like this. They're not just currency, they're golden tickets to wealth. And the demand right now? Insatiable. Collectors with deep pockets and investors chasing rarity are driving the market like never before. The longer you wait to check your coins, the higher the risk that someone else will cash in before you do. And trust me, no one wants to be the person who realizes too late that they had fortune sitting right under their nose. Here's where it gets even more exciting. Experts suggest that many of these 1942 no-mint mark wheat pennies are still out there, undiscovered. Think about that, thousands of households in America could be sitting on a treasure and not even know it. Maybe yours is one of them. And that's where urgency comes in. Every day, people are waking up richer simply because they took the time to look. Will you be next, or will you let the opportunity slip through your fingers? This is where the story turns from history into possibility. You've heard of people making millions through tech stocks, real estate, or cryptocurrency. But coins like the 1942 wheat penny prove that wealth doesn't always come from complicated investments. Sometimes, it's already in your hands, literally. Imagine the relief of discovering that your path to financial freedom isn't about risk, but about recognizing value where others see none. This coin is living proof that the smallest details, the forgotten pennies, can hold unimaginable fortune. Now, I'll leave you with this cliffhanger. Somewhere in this country, perhaps even in your very own home, lies a coin that collectors are ready to pay nearly $1 million for. Someone is going to find it. The question is, will it be you or someone else? So here's your next step. Don't dismiss that old jar of coins. Don't ignore those dusty drawers or family heirlooms. Check them. Take action. The opportunity is staring you in the face, but only those bold enough to look will seize it. The 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just a coin, it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to transform your story, to step into the lifestyle of freedom and wealth that others only dream about. And if you're wondering, yes, this market is only getting hotter. Coins like these are in such high demand that every day you hesitate could mean another collector beats you to the prize. So start looking now, because the next millionaire coin finder might just be you. Imagine opening an old drawer in your house and pulling out a penny, a coin so ordinary that most people wouldn't even give it a second glance. But what if I told you that very same coin, the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny, could be worth nearly $1 million today? That's not a fantasy, it's reality. In fact, the current market value is a jaw-dropping $974,000, and collectors are hunting for it with relentless passion. This tiny piece of copper could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal why this coin is so rare, why it's in such high demand, and how it could change your life forever. Stay with me, because what you learn here could be the key to unlocking a hidden fortune in your very own pocket change. Now, let's step back for a moment. It's 1944. The world was still reeling from the Second World War, and resources were scarce. Copper, the very material pennies were made from, was essential for the war effort. In an attempt to save it, the U.S. Mint experimented with steel pennies in 1943. But in 1944, the mint went back to copper, except something extraordinary happened. Among the millions of pennies struck that year, a handful came out without a mint mark, and these rare survivors became legends in numismatic history. Think about that for a moment: one slip, one anomaly, and suddenly, a penny transforms into a treasure worth almost $1 million. Isn't it wild how life works? A mistake for them became a jackpot for you, but here's the part that should make you lean forward. These coins aren't sitting in bank vaults or museums. Many are still out there, tucked away in old jars, hidden in coin albums, or quietly resting in someone's dresser drawer. The very idea should give you goosebumps. What if one of those coins is sitting in your house right now, waiting for you to notice it? And let's be honest, you're not going to find wealth this immense lying on the sidewalk. But a penny worth nearly $1 million hiding in plain sight? That's the kind of twist that makes people millionaires overnight. Now, let me reset your attention with a quick question. Have you ever held a penny so long that you started wishing it could magically multiply in value? Well, in this case, it doesn't need to multiply, it already carries the power of a luxury car, a dream vacation home, or even early retirement. Imagine trading one small coin for the kind of wealth that most people spend their whole lives chasing. Doesn't that make your heart race? It should, because opportunities like this don't knock twice. Here's where it gets thrilling. Auction houses and private collectors are battling fiercely for these coins, driving the price higher with each passing year. Right now, the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny has reached $974,000. But what about 5 years from now? $1 million? $2 million? The demand is insatiable, and history proves that scarcity always drives value sky high. The longer you wait to uncover yours, the more you risk missing the golden wave of opportunity. And believe me, when these coins cross the auction block, they vanish into private collections, and chances to own one disappear like smoke. But let's pause and think, how do you even know if you have one of these rarities? Here's the cliffhanger: the identifying details of this coin are so specific, yet so overlooked, that most people dismiss it before realizing what they actually hold. In just a moment, I'll reveal the telltale signs that separate an ordinary penny from $1 million masterpiece. And trust me, you'll want to grab every jar of loose change in your house after you hear this. And now, as we move into the final act, let's connect all the dots. The 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just another collectible, it's a symbol of how hidden wealth can exist right under our noses. It's proof that everyday objects can hold extraordinary value, and that fortune often favors those who dare to look a little closer. For people like you, those who dream of building a wealthy lifestyle, selling rare coins, and leaving behind an extraordinary legacy, this coin is more than money. It's a stepping stone into a life where rarity, history, and prosperity all align. And here's where I leave you with one final thought: the next time you pick up a penny, will you brush it off as pocket change, or will you pause and wonder if you're holding the key to nearly $1 million? Because someone, somewhere, already has. And the question is, why not you? Imagine this: a single penny tucked away in a jar, forgotten for decades, now worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, a humble 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin so unassuming it could be sitting in your drawer right now, is commanding a jaw-dropping market value of $964,000 today. Pause for a second and let that sink in. A coin once worth a single cent is now worth more than most people's homes. Doesn't that make you want to double-check every jar, every pocket, and every old coin album you've ever owned? That, my friends, is the power of rare coins, hidden fortune disguised in copper. But here's the question: how many people are overlooking this opportunity while others are cashing in? The truth is, these rare coins are not just collectibles, they are wealth multipliers. And the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny is one of the crown jewels. If you stay with me until the end, you will not only understand why this coin is so valuable, but also how you can position yourself to profit from coins just like it. And trust me, you don't want to miss what I reveal in the final minutes. It could change the way you look at pocket change forever. To truly appreciate the magic of the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny, we have to step back in time. Post-World War II America was thriving. Soldiers returned home, industries boomed, and pennies were minted in the millions. But here's where the story gets fascinating. Most 1948 pennies bore the simple Lincoln wheat design we all know. Yet, the absence of a mint mark and intentional detail on some coins transforms certain pieces into rarities of unimaginable worth. What separates a $1,000,000 penny from ordinary copper? It's scarcity, condition, and collector demand colliding in perfect harmony. And now, imagine collectors worldwide, competing at auctions, their paddles rising higher and higher. The tension builds, the price skyrockets, and before you know it, what started as a bid in the thousands leaps into hundreds of thousands, and finally, into the $1,000,000 threshold. That's not fantasy. That's happening right now in the rare coin market, and the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny is the shining example. And let's inject a little humor here. Isn't it ironic that a coin most of us used to buy a stick of gum could now buy the entire candy store? Makes you wonder what you've casually spent over the years without a second thought, but let's bring it back, because this isn't just about history or quirky trivia. It's about recognizing opportunity. The demand for these rare pennies is exploding. Wealthy investors, seasoned collectors, even everyday individuals are driving prices higher, knowing these coins are limited treasures. And here's the kicker: every year, fewer of these rare coins are found in pristine condition, meaning scarcity and value only go up. Now here's where it gets exciting for you. Imagine being one of the few who discovers this treasure in plain sight. Picture walking into an auction house, or connecting with a private buyer, and walking away with nearly $1,000,000, all because you recognized the hidden fortune inside a penny most people ignored. That's the transformation rare coins bring. They turn ordinary people into millionaires. And in today's market, with the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny reaching $964,000, the urgency has never been greater, because let me ask you, how would you feel if someone else, maybe even your neighbor, unearthed one of these coins and cashed in while you hesitated? That little pang of fear, the fear of missing out, is exactly why acting now matters. Coins like these don't wait around. Demand is rising, buyers are ready, and opportunities are being claimed as we speak. And here's the cliffhanger, because I promised you something game-changing. The 1948 no-mint mark penny isn't the only coin like this. In fact, there are several other rare pennies sitting out there, hiding in plain sight, with values in the hundreds of thousands and even millions. If one small copper coin can pay off your debts, fund your dream home, or even set you up for life, imagine what a collection of them could do. The next question isn't, does this exist? The real question is, are you going to find yours before someone else does? So, here's your call to action: start checking, start searching, and never underestimate the wealth potential hidden inside the coins you already own. Because while others are sitting back, the people who act today are the ones who will be telling the story of how a simple penny turned them into millionaires tomorrow. Imagine this: you walk into your attic, open an old wooden box that hasn't been touched in decades, and buried under faded photographs and dusty books, you find a small coin. At first glance, it looks ordinary, just another penny. But then you turn it over, and your heart skips a beat. That small copper coin, the 1950 wheat penny, could be worth not just hundreds, not just thousands, but well over $965,000 in today's market. Yes, you heard that right, one penny that could completely transform your financial life. Now, before you shake your head and say, "There's no way a penny is worth that much," let me remind you, rare coins have always been symbols of hidden wealth, overlooked treasures that ordinary people have unknowingly kept in jars, wallets, or shoeboxes. And this story is no different. What if you are sitting on one of these coins right now without even realizing it? The fear of missing out on life-changing wealth is real, because every single day, collectors and investors are hunting for coins like this one, and they are willing to pay nearly $1 million for the right piece. But why is the 1950 wheat penny so valuable? Why does it hold such a legendary status among collectors? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know the secrets behind its worth, how to identify it, and most importantly, how you could turn a simple penny into your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. And trust me, you don't want to miss the final reveal, it might shock you. Let's travel back to 1950. America was entering a new era of prosperity after World War II. Families were buying homes, cars were filling driveways, and children were collecting coins as hobbies. The Denver Mint quietly produced the 1950 wheat penny, and like so many coins, it entered circulation unnoticed. But here's the twist: only a very limited number of these pennies survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. And those few survivors are now commanding prices that most people can only dream of. Think about it: how many pennies have you tossed into vending machines, piggy banks, or even left lying on the sidewalk? The humor in this is almost cruel. You could have walked past nearly $1 million and never even looked down. Isn't that crazy? It makes you wonder how many fortunes have been lost simply because someone said, "It's just a penny." This is where the thrill begins. The coin's rarity, coupled with its historical significance, drives collectors into bidding wars. Auction houses light up with excitement, and when the hammer drops, numbers like $965,000 aren't just whispered, they're shouted with pride. And here's the part that creates urgency: the value of coins like this doesn't stay stagnant. It grows. Demand rises, supply shrinks, and the wealthy compete to secure a piece of history. That's why waiting could cost you dearly. Every year, the stakes get higher, but here's a question for you: if you found one of these pennies today, would you sell it instantly, or would you hold on and watch its value climb even further? Imagine the dilemma. That's not just a coin, that's a decision that could shape your legacy. Now let's come back to you. You may be thinking, alright, but how do I know if I have one of these? The first clue is the date, 1950. Next, look for the tiny D mint mark under the date, signifying the Denver Mint. But here's the golden detail: condition is everything. The sharper the strike, the less wear and tear, the closer you get to that life-changing six-figure value. One coin in near-perfect condition has already fetched nearly $1 million at auction, and yours could be next. And here's the cliffhanger: there's an even rarer version tied to this series that could be worth even more than the $965,000 price tag. But you'll only uncover that secret if you truly start your journey into the world of rare coins. Because once you step into this world, you'll realize something powerful: wealth is not always earned through decades of labor. Sometimes, it's discovered sitting quietly in your drawer, waiting for you to notice it. So, the question is, are you going to be the person who shrugs and says, "It's just a penny"? Or will you be the one who takes action, who understands that fortune favors the bold, and who realizes that financial freedom could be sitting in the palm of your hand right now? The demand for coins like the 1950 D-Wheat penny is only rising. Collectors are searching, investors are competing, and every second you wait, someone else could be cashing in. The clock is ticking, and opportunities like this don't come twice. So go check your collection, open that old box, search through that jar of pennies. Because the next great fortune isn't hidden in Wall Street or Silicon Valley, it's hiding in plain sight, in the coins of America's past. And if you're lucky enough to find it, you won't just be holding a penny. You'll be holding your future. Imagine this: a single coin sitting in your pocket, forgotten for decades, suddenly revealed to be worth nearly $1 million today. What if I told you that one of the most ordinary-looking pennies, struck back in 1951, with no mint mark, is turning heads in the coin-collecting world and commanding values of up to $964,000 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. A penny most people would overlook has transformed into a treasure that can rival the price of luxury cars, dream homes, or even set you up for financial freedom. Now, before you brush this off thinking it could never happen to you, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is so powerful, how it came to be, and why it is one of the hottest commodities in the world of rare collectibles right now. Let's step back to the year 1951. America was in the midst of rebuilding its post-war identity. Families were buying homes, new cars were rolling off assembly lines, and prosperity was starting to shine across the nation. At the same time, millions of wheat pennies were being struck at the Philadelphia Mint, without a mint mark. To most Americans, it was just spare change, but to collectors today, it has become a glittering piece of history. And here's the twist: not all 1951 pennies are created equal. The rarest survivors, those struck with extraordinary precision, preserved in near-flawless condition, carry astronomical values. Imagine the thrill of finding one in your father's coin jar, or tucked away in an old dresser drawer. That's not just nostalgia, it's life-changing wealth in the palm of your hand. But why does this humble penny demand such power? It's simple: scarcity and demand. While millions were minted, only a fraction have endured the test of time in pristine condition. Collectors, investors, and even financial institutions now compete for these rare gems. It's no longer just about having a coin, it's about owning a piece of American legacy. And let's be honest, wouldn't you prefer holding an investment that not only grows in value but also tells a story of resilience and history? After all, which sounds more exciting, staring at numbers on a digital stock ticker, or holding in your hand the very coin that could buy a penthouse suite in Manhattan? Now, here's where it gets even more exciting and a little terrifying. Every day, countless people unknowingly spend or discard coins that could be worth a fortune. That's right, $1 million penny might be hiding in plain sight. Think about it, how many times have you thrown pennies into a tip jar, tossed them in your car's cup holder, or ignored them on the ground? It makes you wonder what treasures have slipped through your fingers. This is where urgency comes in. Because with every passing year, fewer of these rare coins remain available, and those who own them are locking them away in private collections. The demand is skyrocketing, while the supply dwindles, creating a perfect storm for skyrocketing values. And let's break the tension for a moment. Imagine the face of a cashier if you paid for your morning coffee with a penny worth nearly $1 million. That'll be $4.50, please. Clink. You hand over the coin and walk away, unknowingly leaving behind enough value to buy the entire coffee shop. That's the kind of irony that makes collectors laugh and also cry, because they know every coin has a story, and every story could be a fortune. But let's return to the bigger picture. This isn't just about a single penny, it's about opportunity. The rare coin market is booming, and coins like the 1951 no-mint Mark Wheat penny are leading the charge. Collectors between the ages of 30 and 65 are not only passionate about the history but are also using these investments to build wealth, protect their legacy, and live the lifestyle they've always dreamed of. And here's the cliffhanger, you might be wondering, how can you know if your 1951 penny is the $1 million version? What exact details separate an ordinary coin from a world-class treasure? Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to reveal what experts look for, the subtle features, the condition factors, and the professional grading secrets that can turn a simple penny into a life-changing discovery. This knowledge is what separates dreamers from doers in the coin world. And if you've ever wanted to step into a market where history and wealth collide, this is your chance. So, as we close this chapter, let me leave you with this thought. Wealth isn't always about chasing something new, it's about recognizing the hidden value in what's already around you. That 1951 wheat penny, tucked away in a box or resting quietly in a jar, could be the key that unlocks a wealthy lifestyle, a legacy for your family, and a story that will be told for generations. Don't let it slip through your hands. Now, I have a question for you. If you discovered your penny was worth $964,000, would you sell it immediately, or would you hold it, knowing its value could climb even higher in the years to come?